You don't have to live with pain or chronic neuro issues any longer. In this podcast, you will learn how to stabilize your brain, body, and biochemistry for the rest of your life. I'm Dr. Teams, and this is the NeuroRESET podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the NeuroRESET podcast. This is just going to be me today. What I want to do is actually talk about some of these referrals we've been getting, as well as a new program we have coming. So, as of late, TikTok has really been taken off. A lot of people asking us questions and saying that they have POTS and dysautonomia and all the symptoms of it, but don't have a diagnosis yet, or they can't get diagnosed with it yet. And there still are answers for you out there. And a few months ago, I posted something saying that, it's not the end of the world if you don't get a diagnosis. And that's true. Right? There's a lot of people who are struggling to get a diagnosis because it's very random. It's not consistent. Their heart rate might jump like crazy when they're in normal daily activity, but then they don't fail a tilt test. So, there's a lot of things out there that unfortunately a lot of people aren't getting the help that they need, but that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. We do our diagnostic testing to make sure that we aren't missing anything neurological. We're looking at the pathways, the integration of those pathways, and based on those two things, that's what creates people's function. And so if your function is low, your pathways or integration of those pathways will be off. And so when we dive into that, we know that there's a lot of consistency from case to case in terms of tolerance, right? So a lot of individuals, when they're, let's say, in that 60, 70% range, oftentimes they are still able to work. It's not fun and it's not necessarily effective work, but they're still able to technically hold a job. As you fall down in percentage of function, we seem to find that those below about 60% tend to not be able to work anymore, right? And so there's that 30 to 60% roughly, call it kind of a range there, that's where most people end up. If it gets worse than that, usually below that 40, 50% mark, down into the 30s and 20s and even below, we've had somebody at 5, 10% function, basically just in bed all day, right? We've been working with that individual maybe about 3-4 weeks now, probably about 3 weeks, and they're already showing significant signs of improvement, where originally they were 5, 10%, and now they're at like 25, 30% in just a few weeks. And so, what we're doing with these individuals who are really, really bad is basically just meeting them where they are and starting with any therapies or exercises that they can handle, right? It's pretty simple, or fairly simple. So if someone out there, or if you're listening to this, don't be afraid of something hurting. I understand, and we understand that people are hurting, right? It hurts just to open your eyes in the morning. We've got someone who's literally in the dark all day long, with the exception of coming to the office. And even then, they're starting to show some signs of improvement, right? They're coming out of the room a little more, they're having some more interaction with the family. And, these things won't just happen on their own, right? The body is designed to heal. It's not designed to feel good all the time, at least. And so when people dip below that like 60, 70%, maybe 50%, we're finding that they just can't heal on their own anymore. So we're trying to get their body or their nervous system to a point of calmness where their parasympathetic or rest and digest system activates again. And once we get that activated, then that body is now healing itself. So we just keep helping it along to the point where we get to that 80, 90% mark. And that's where we really discharge people to go and finalize or finish up on the other pieces of the puzzle. So those other pieces of the puzzle might be psychological work, might be diving into dealing with trauma, might be the chemistry work, right? Say your naturopath or your primary or your supplementation and dietary changes, all those start to really take effect, and you feel the difference as you make these changes, as opposed to before where you couldn't make those changes on your own, right? You were just so far behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and now you're in front of it. we do see a lot of people in that 5, 10, 15, 20% mark. 30% is a very common number that we tend to see people at, the level of function. And right now we're fielding phone calls from the Netherlands, from other parts of Canada, Florida, Colorado, Oregon, New York, Connecticut. I mean, we're having phone calls from people just reaching out from all over the North America, really. I've had someone reach out as far as Panama. And so we're having these conversations in the next couple of days with these individuals, like a consult. It's a $50 to $7 consult. We get to talk about your case up to 30 minutes. And, most of these individuals end up coming to visit us. But we also know that it can be very expensive. So what we are doing, and we've been working on this for quite a few months, is building out an online exercise program that is able to help individuals basically increase their tolerance, right? So we're not treating any conditions. We're not treating POTS. We're not treating dysautonomia. Just to be super clear, we have to establish you as a patient to be a patient. But there is an exercise protocol that we can help you perform, or that we can guide you through, that can get you, maybe increase your function from, say, 30% to 50%, maybe from 30% to 60, 70%. One of the things we're finding is people just don't know where to start. And we've put together a program that helps to guide people through that, right? We tried to think about where people are and where we need to meet them. We're trying to think about all those people that are at 5, 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 70%, those that are still able to work and they just need a boost in their neurological function or their nervous system function, right? Maybe decrease some reactions to triggers, maybe improve some blood flow based on some breathing techniques. Everybody's a little bit different, but there are some similarities from case to case, and we are building out a program for this. It's going to be a very comprehensive program. It's not complete just yet, but what we're going to do is probably launch, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, maybe sometime in July 2024 here. I'm hoping we can get it done by then, but ultimately that is going to be like the intro version of the entire program. So as the rest of the year goes on, we're going to keep adding exercises after exercises after exercises, and bringing in other practitioners to hopefully provide some spotlights on some things that might not be within our scope of practice, right? Basic things that you can do at home that can make a massive difference. So I'd love for you guys to maybe check out some of the things that we have about that already, and just sit tight for that to be fully launched. One of the other things that we're doing now is we're actually switching over all of our laser therapy and some of our technology to new pieces of equipment. Staying up to date with technology is something that we try to pride ourselves on. We don't jump at the first thing that comes out, but we vet the company, we vet the ownership, and we vet the outcomes, right? So we've been testing new laser therapy for about 4 to 6 weeks now, and we're starting to see some pretty serious changes, where the changes are actually happening faster as opposed to taking as long, right? We can get a little more aggressive, or we can tone things down with this new equipment. The coolest part about this new piece of equipment is that they have a home version or a home unit that is way more affordable than any laser that I've seen in the past. And so we're working on getting these home recovery centers together so that you guys can create this place of healing in your own home, as opposed to always making the trip out here. Now, when I talk about making the trip out here, obviously I feel that we have an upper hand, and you're going to have the best experience and best outcome working with us directly as a patient. But working through your own exercise protocol at your own pace can be life-changing as well, right? If you have the resources to work through and create this recovery center for yourself, that I mean, that could be an absolute game changer. All of our technology in the office, our laser therapy, our PEMF therapy, our red light therapy, and our vagal nerve stimulation are all designed to decrease inflammation, improve blood flow, and create better neurological connections or support the neurological healing aspect of things, okay? Where a lot of those 20, 30 percenters just don't have the ability to create healing, we are able to use technology to sort of support that and boost that and maybe create some healing mechanisms in short bursts where the body can then take that and run with it and harness the energy of technology, of laser therapy, of PEMF, late vagal nerve stim, and just create a little more stabilization so that you can then go to the next level of function. So that, I mean, really, that's all I wanted to do today. There's been a lot of people in and out of town. We haven't been able to get too many podcasts just as of yet. Just the summers here in Arizona are so toasty, so people just bail out of town starting usually middle of May. We've got quite a few really exciting podcasts lined up for you guys in the next couple months. And so I would like to just say thank you to everyone out there that's listening and watching and referring. You guys don't know how much this means to us, is to be able to help all these individuals from all over North America, your friends, your family, your coworkers. We just really appreciate y'all referring to us and thinking enough about us to really help some of those individuals that you do know. So, yeah, if you guys have any other questions, just check out some of the other podcasts. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever floats your boat. And maybe start keeping an eye on the website for when we launch our membership or our online program. I'm not sure what we're going to do just yet. Our online program is going to be super affordable compared to our in-office care, just because we have so many staff and the technology and things like that. So just hit us up. hello@desertbrainandspine.com or desertbrainandspine.com as a website. And yeah, just reach out and let us know on socials if you have any questions. I'm going to start getting a little more active on there. We'll get the rest of the team active on there because they handle a lot of questions as well that are not necessarily something that I need to answer. So you'll be interacting with the whole team here pretty quick. And we're just really excited to be a part of a community that we can really resonate with and really get some serious help and ultimately change some lives, right? Our slogan is changing lives one brain at a time. And we really appreciate you supporting Desert Brain and Spine and the NeuroRESET podcast. All right, gang, until next time, take it easy and we'll talk to you soon.